What's up, everybody? This is the Entrepreneur Enthusiast Podcast. Today I got Dominique Scoggins from Valor Vision. The reason I got Dominique out here is because, one, he's an entrepreneur and also a very educated man, and I played high school football with this man, and I've seen him grow, and we all like to humbly brag, but this man's been doing this thing for a while and continue to build his company. So tell us a little bit about Valor Vision. Give me a quick, what is Valor Vision?
For sure. No, most definitely. Well, first of all, Joe, thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate that. So Valor Vision is a company, one of the companies I created that really emphasizes on all aspects of production, anything that encompasses event production and TV and film production too as well.
Yeah.
Feature films, different kind of slates, motion pictures, anything to that degree. And I really started doing production probably when I was like 17 years old.
Yeah.
But then in all different aspects. So I just figured, now let me just create a company. So we have contracts with different, venues. Currently right now I have a contract with W Hollywood Hotel.
Nice.
And a lot of W Hotel Group in general. So basically, essentially, I bring a lot of entertainment and logistics and production to them.
When you say you started at 17 years old, what type of event was that? What? Because I can imagine you were doing that without even realizing that was actual production. Right?
Yeah, for sure. So it's interesting. If you throw house parties, then that's promotion. So everybody kind of starts in a promoter.
Yeah.
Right, in a promoter way. There's people who literally promote things and don't even know that they're promoters.
Yeah.
Right. So I started doing that in high school, having parties, and then just eventually just letting people know, like people will ask me, what's going on tonight. Like that just kind of naturally came.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that I was trying to be like this, promoter or be in the scene. Just people I guess knew that I was in the scene. So they would just say, yo, what's up? Where's it going?
Exactly.
And that's really how it starts. So people just start hitting you up, asking you what's going on.
Yeah.
So what I realized is that if I can bring, at least 50 to 100 people, to a party, to an event or anything like that.
Yeah.
Let me just start easing my way into building my own company.
Yeah.
And so with the W in particularly, I started off doing everything by myself, doing all my promotions, doing all my marketing.
That's a lot.
Being cinematographers. I started this about 4 years ago there at that particular venue. And I just got to the point where I was like, all right, I need to start working with other people.
Yeah.
People that I could trust, people that have different elements of things that I necessarily don't really like doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've been holding a contract there, and I do entertainment stuff. I've had so many different clients there, RCA Records there.
Nice.
I've had, obviously, Kiss and Grind, which is one of the longest production entertainment companies.
That's a dope event.
In a promotion, nightlife, day party.
Yeah.
Since they do stuff worldwide. Worked with a lot of different groups. Nike.
Yeah.
Obviously, anyway, I mean, the list can go on and on.
I'm gonna go back. It's interesting you said something about the 50 people coming. I remember in my event days, party days, I got to a point where I knew I'm gonna get 50 people.
Yeah.
At minimum, I'm at least get 50
at least
people.
50, yeah.
I feel like we had the game night the other night, and I believe we didn't have 50. We had about 25 people there, but we knew the solid coming out. And then there's an epiphany of saying, oh snap, I can get paid per head per these people, because partying becomes a job.
Yeah, exactly.
It becomes a whole thing to just go out and get dressed, and you say you started off just having fun. How was that pure transition for it to go from fun to go from actual I'm monetizing this and turning it into a career?
Yeah. So one thing I started to realize if I knew I was going to enter in this business, is realize what venues.
Yeah.
Right. You got to go to the venues. That's the most important thing, because you want to give people a different experience that they're not just getting, anywhere else. Because to me, it's not really a party. It's really people networking and having fun. I like to see the beauty of people getting together. Right. So what I started to do was okay, cool. I'm gonna start just bringing a lot of industry professionals together.
Yeah.
People who move out to LA, don't really know what's going on. Right. And, you know, because I went to college in Atlanta, like I know a lot of people out that moved to LA from other different states.
Yeah.
And so when they would ask me where to go, I started to realize, okay, hey, they'll pay $20 to get in at minimum, or they'll get a couple drinks,
and they should pay,
which is $40, right?
Yeah.
So I started to see, okay, if I start making more connections with venues, because I actually have a property management background, so I know a lot of venues and how they operate and how they move and how they solicit different groups to work with.
Got it.
So once I started to get into that and realize that, I just started inviting people over.
Yeah.
Right. So I started making relationships with venues.
Yep.
Obviously show them the kind of experience that I want to build, the kind of audience that I want to bring, the demographics I want to bring. Started obviously, you know, knowing so many DJs. I mean, just being around, you know, DJs. A lot of DJs are my personal friends. I knew them before they were DJs. Who happened to be some of the,
shout some out. Who's some
oh
DJ
man,
friends?
oh shoot, we could DJ Artistic.
Yep.
You know what I mean? DJ Bad.
Yep.
DJ Prince.
Yep.
And this is no order, by the way. So no DJs get real. So like who sensitive. You put right?
Yeah.
DJ Orator.
DJ Air.
DJ Air. Yeah. Shout out to DJ Air. I mean, I knew. You know, we went to Morehouse, right? And so DJ Air, you know, he does his thing in the Atlanta market.
Yeah.
And he's worldwide. Yeah. I would say, for him as a DJ to kind of, he knew he wanted, I think out of all the DJs I knew, I saw him transitioning and wanting to be a DJ at an early wanted age.
To be a DJ, bro. He DJ'd my house party.
Yeah, but I remember
that was
like
his first DJ.
It was just for fun. Like for him, like I don't think he knew where it was gonna go to where he's at now.
Oh no, he knew.
Look, you know what?
His people's is like in you know, he's in radio, like all that, like, so he knew, like, because we had a big homie named Will, that shout out to Will. He was like, we looked up to him when we did our parties. Mm-hmm. He was older and he would have all these kind of house parties, and he DJ'd his own parties.
Oh, okay.
And so I wanted to DJ, but I just really had an interest in it.
Nice.
So then I would hire Air, and then he started DJing. Then he went to school, and like, even the same mindset of how you like took production, like you didn't know you were throwing a party, but then you were like, let me take this to the next level professionally. You know, I think that's what it was like. And that whole switch, that was like, I remember his aha moment. And like you're saying, so what was your aha moment where you were like, you know what, aha?
Well, because I grew up in entertainment.
Yeah.
My father was I have family that were in entertainment.
Yeah.
I always knew I was going to be around it to some degree.
Got it.
And I've done so many different things in my life, but what made me say aha, you know, sort of say, is I started surrounding myself with more people in the industry.
Yeah.
And I started learning about different aspects of production that I didn't know, right? So one is like TV and film.
Yeah.
They would actually shoot movies at my uncle's house. My Uncle Megger's house. He lives off of Arlington and Adams, and those of you know, they use those old houses for TV and you know, movie production. So they've been doing that for years. And so I always knew I wanted to be in that industry because I would live there. We lived there with my uncle for some time, with my mom, and I always knew I was going to be in it. But I would say that spark of moment was meeting some people. And my first opportunity. So my first opportunity working in TV and production was I was working in property management. Yeah. And one of my clients is a showrunner. His name is Joe Braswell. Shout out to Joe Braswell. Me and him connected. Yeah. Just showing him some properties. Yeah. And he told me, you know, what do I, you know, like to do? And I told him the things I like to do. And he said, well, have you ever done TV and film? I said, I've been around it to some degree, but, you know, not as a, you know, production or showrunner. Yeah. So he said, I may have an opportunity for you. So I said, okay. This was in May of 2017. In October 2017, he calls me out of the blue. Yeah. Right? Like literally out of the blue. And at the time, I'm in business school. I don't even think he knew that I was enrolled in business school because this was months after we talked. It's childhood education. He just called me out of nowhere and just said, hey, you know, I have an opportunity working on Man Cave. Show on BET. It's about black men, you know, just talking, having candid conversations. And I think, you know, based on the things we were talking about, that you could be a great asset in helping us, you know, as an entry level. So this was my first position, which is considered a production assistant, right? So I was like, cool, you know, I'll try it, right? And he told me what the rate was, and it was actually more than what I was making as a property manager.
In less hours.
And I was like, okay, wait, if this is the entry level position making this amount, and I'm making this with property management, let me do it. So it was also a money thing too. And I didn't see it as me starting from the bottom. Right, I didn't see it as like, oh, I'm gonna do a production, because there's a lot of negative connotations around what production assistants are.
Yeah,
I was a story room production assistant, so I was actually helping build the content.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even like starting from the bottom. Even it's like, where are you gonna start from?
That's a whole nother topic, right? So anyway, so that was the aha moment.
Yeah,
you know, that was like once I started working Man Cave, and you know, shout out to Jeff Johnson, Slink, Tank, and Cosign, and you know, a lot of team. Like that was my first time actually working with all black people.
Wow.
To be honest with you. So
that's a blessing.
In the production, you know, conduit, in the storeroom, it was producers. Like that was literally, you know, and that was also like an aha moment, like, wow, I can do this and have fun and just come with different ideas and write stuff down and piggyback off of people and have conversations. Like it was normal, it was natural, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to do this to a degree, is be in this lane, because I have a corporate experience, but it wasn't satisfying, it wasn't fun. Not to say that you know, I'm appreciative of working in that element, but for me, in the way I like to move, that was the aha moment.
You said something that hit, and it was on the line of your father was in the business. What capacity was he in the business?
Yeah, so my dad, it's interesting. He has a very rare, one of a kind story.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this because he's my dad, but like if you sit back from a creative aspect and assess this person's life, so my dad really started off like selling popcorn and peanuts in the Forum.
Oh wow.
When he was like 17, 18 years old, that was his first job, working at the Forum. You know, went to Inglewood. He went to Santa Monica College for I think a year or two, didn't finish.
Yeah.
Because he was working, and he worked his way up. He started working selling popcorn and peanuts, and then working into management with the restaurant and like the Forum clubs, and then worked his way up into working for a third party company that did sponsorships for the Lakers. This was back in the 80s. This was before you know, Jerry Buss like took full control over all the marketing and everything. He still had other partners who he was working with. So he started working in that, got fired because Jerry Buss let this third party go.
Yeah.
So my dad was unemployed for like 6 months, but Jeannie Buss called him and said, hey, listen, you know, I want you to work in sales. Like now we're doing our own in-house sales, sponsorships and all that stuff. So they brought him back on. With Jerry Buss's business partner Frank Mariani.
Yeah.
So my dad worked for the Lakers for like 27 years.
Wow.
And he ended up being the vice president of corporate sponsorships when he left the Lakers. So through all those years, like that's what he did. So growing up, that's all I did. And then, you know, when he left the Lakers, he worked for Magic. Yeah. Magic Johnson. Became his president. So he was the president there for about 7-8 years.
Yeah.
So that's growing up, that's really all I knew. That's all I kind of just knew. But the thing is with my dad is that he literally comes from a unique, humble beginning. Yeah. You know, he was not blessed, so he didn't raise us like that. We weren't raised like we definitely experienced a lot of stuff. Yeah. But he raised us, my mom, like my family has a very
blue collar family.
They're really blue collar.
America.
People. Yeah, really are.
So in that, you know, it's important. We're still able to see a important black male in a lane succeed. And like I always tell people, like I looked up to like Diddy.
Yeah. I mean, we all did. I mean, everybody.
But that's really all we had though. In the 90s, we had like Diddy, like Dame, like these are people we had. Like there wasn't like no black doctors, lawyers. Like we didn't really see how anyone really grew their career and grinded. So like even learning how to grind is a thing, because you were able to see his footsteps and see how he was able to do that. Yeah. And it goes into the father time conversation of how important is it to you we talked about being present in our son's life. How important is that as an element, even us as black men, to have that impression on younger black men, so they can see like, yo, you can do it. It don't even got to be this way or this way or this way. You can do it your way.
Yeah.
My question is, how important is the mentorship in the lives of black men? Because it seems like it made a big impression on you.
Yes.
And gearing off the focus of you in the career, but you just staying on track, and you getting that blueprint to stay on track because your father was able to do it, and most people don't have that blueprint. Yeah. You know, of success.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially where we come from.
Absolutely. Well, I have been blessed, and I would say privileged and honored and appreciative of all the men in my family. Yeah. You know, my dad definitely is prevalent in my life. Yeah. But I think when it comes to men in general, we need like a village of other men that also we balance malehood out and figure things out, because you know my dad couldn't teach me everything, right, but I had both of my grandfathers, grandfather Joe, Gramps, grandpa, Don. I had uncles in my life. My dad has 3 brothers, Kenny, Ron, Eric, my mom has a brother, Uncle Megger, also my uncle Damon, who's also our other brother. So I grew up with men. Got it. In my family, and then also play like cousins, older uncle, other. I mean, it's very important, for us to have that element, and I think our generation is going to be that generation where we are definitely assuring that we're more prevalent that we're prevalent in our sons and in men's lives.
We're able to offer it. I feel like
we could definitely offer.
We're in that new phase, and even for me, I find it difficult sometimes because I want to be around my son all the time, be around my daughter and my other son all the time, but it's hard to really just have that entrepreneur life because that clock is on a different pace. Yeah. And so you have to decide if you really want to be an entrepreneur, and you've done corporate and you've done the entrepreneur side of things. And so because you can speak to both aspects, what is the mindset that you have to take to even tap into that, to say, what's the mindset of the corporate world, and what is the mindset of saying, okay, I'm going to, because you can go work for a production company, or you can start one. Yeah. So what is the mindset in between those that you feel like you have to take to, let's say, start your own production company?
Great question. Well, first of all, if anybody knows having a job, like when you work for somebody, first things first, you're expendable. They can fire you, right? I mean, that's just when you work for somebody else, they can fire you.
They can,
and they don't have to give you a 2-week notice. Yeah, right. They can literally just fire you. Yeah, right.
I got a problem with firing people. It's so hard for me to do.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just the nature of business and employment, and whatever the case may be. So once I started to realize that, it made me realize that, okay, I need to also have my own business too as well. Got it. Because I can be reliant on me. Yeah. Right. If anybody was to fire me, or if any company was to get laid off, or any sort of circumstance you want to quit, just know that business working for somebody is expendable. So I knew that at a very young age, because I've been working since I was 15. I've always had a job, right? So yeah, man, when I started to realize that at a younger age, at every job, you can get fired or things can change. It always made me want to do entrepreneurship. And then my grandfather was an entrepreneur, my mom's father. So he always was in business by himself. He was a painter, he was a plumber, he was a landscaper. He owned buildings, he owned a club. Like that's really where my entrepreneurship comes from with him. That's what he taught me. But my dad worked in corporate, so I just kind of always had like that balance. I seen both sides. Yeah. And I've been able to balance both sides. Like still, I tell people all the time, like there's nothing wrong with having a job. Yes, because you can always quit it.
Earn income.
You get benefits.
And
as an entrepreneur, you start to see that, okay, you can see that you can use it to your advantage. And you can see that, and I've done entrepreneurship for a year and 2 years. Yeah. Maybe let's just say 2 years. Like I've done it solely. Like I've taken the risk of doing it solely. And it gets to a point where once I started to have my son, right? And then once I started to see, okay, there's certain industries that I could be in where I could still move and be an entrepreneur and balance out both. it was perfect. It's a perfect situation.
So I've been an entrepreneur 12 years now.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy ride, you know, but now, you know, even now supporting my family, and having my kids, you know, my take has been, it's about what I'm gaining per day. And I'm seasoned in my craft in digital marketing. I was able to come in a field where digital marketing was a boom and everyone needed marketing, advertising, promotion, websites and stuff like that. And with getting over that hump of being like this full-time entrepreneur, like you want to just make sure you're getting that steady earned income.
Absolutely.
Like it has to be coming in all the time.
All the time.
And true entrepreneurship, and to speak to your point of you being able to do other things, is really providing jobs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we have 7 people now at Affluent, and I feed their families and mine. So there's been times where like I'm like, okay, we got to pay the bills, so I'll go do a TaskRabbit job. Right. I'll go mount some TVs. Right. Literally, while I was working, when I was working at the restaurant, I owned the restaurant. I would go mount TVs, do some tasks that I can do to make $150, $200. You're making $300 a day. Sure, you got your $100,000 in a year. So my bottom line was still going to be met.
Bringing money in.
Businesses could be taken care of. Yes. So that actually helped me that time learn that I don't have to be as hands-on with the business. I can delegate tasks. I don't have to do the full workload. And then I can grow and be a full-time true entrepreneur, because I believe I failed the early years of entrepreneurship because I wanted to take 100% of the work and 100% of the money. But I learned that I can delegate 90% of the work and take 50% of the money and then move on and go get new work. You know, and delegation, dealing with employees, it's a whole thing. And to be able to scale your business, it takes a new mindset. So where do you see your company going, scaling in the perfect world? What are the limits for you guys?
Yeah. You know, one thing about having great relationships and doing, you know, having partnerships with reputable companies, that you can scale it as high as you want. You know? So what my vision has always been is to do mass production.
Got it.
You know, I've been blessed and fortunate to do stuff in other states. Yeah. You know, so I think, you know, starting off doing stuff in other states. Before the pandemic, I could have done something in Istanbul. Nice. You know, at a venue out there. Yeah. So nice. I think, you know, once you grow, you know, you want to grow to newer heights. You know, obviously have my own films or other films of writers that I'm producing. Yeah. One of our movies or one of our concepts is going to hit. Yeah. You know, and that's another thing too. You know, my company is also in partnerships with other people where we're doing things together. Yeah. You know, so everybody, we all aspire to like get that major motion picture deal or you know, that TV deal or, you know, whatever the case may be.
It could just come.
Yeah, and it could just come at any time, you know. And then, you know, still continue to do philanthropic stuff, you know, as well. So part of the balance is not only do you aspire to, you know, have more of a branding thing, but also, you know, you want to give back. And that's something that I've always been a huge proponent on.
So to add to giving back, what are some keys that you would want to leave with our audience to become an entrepreneur, to follow your footsteps? What are you saying to the 15-year-old Dominique before he's doing that first production?
Yeah, I would definitely tell them to, you know, believe themselves in whatever that case may be. So anything that they want to do or have like an interest in doing, just do it.
Just do it.
Even if you have an interest, like just see what it's about.
What does that mean?
So it's like I always wanted to go to business school. Yeah. Right? Always. Yep. I knew that at some degree I wanted to go to USC. Yep. And I just wanted to just see what it was like to go to business school. Yeah. Right? So all I did was just apply. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just apply. Yeah. I'm going to just go ahead and do the research. Like, I'm going to just see what it's about. I know that there could be so many things against me. Yeah. Right? So I just did it. Yeah. Right? Even my business, I just filed for LLC.
Just do it.
Just get a tax ID. right?
People hate when I say just.
That's so really all you have to just do it. Like, that's it. Like, it's just, okay, this is what it takes to do it. I'm gonna just do it. So, you know, and then I got accepted into business school, and I really, to be honest with you, if I didn't have the pedigree that I have and the things that I've done, that's why I got accepted. But on paper,
they wouldn't have accepted you.
They wouldn't have accepted me. So that's another thing too. It's like, just do things. Just do things to add on your resume so you could talk about stuff, right? Just, you don't want to be one person that talks in a linear way. It's just, you talk about one thing. You won't have experience in doing anything.
Because rejection is going to happen.
It's going to happen regardless.
Like, it's going to happen. That's that adversity.
It's inevitable.
Coach Black, only you will face that adversity.
Only you will face adversity.
Only you will face. I hear that in my head all the time. Coach Black, man. Shout out to him. He's an entrepreneur. He's selling insurance right now.
Is he?
Yeah, entrepreneur, man. But it's still like, you got to have that. And my wife hates it, but I always bring it back to sports analogies, because I learned a lot of shit playing football and playing sports. And it's like, there's that adversity, there's the giving up. Like, bro, I think my senior year, we lost every game but one. Like, you're going to lose. You're going to lose, but you still got to feel like a winner in some way. Like, just because you losing, you know, in certain aspects don't mean you losing all the time.
Right.
And then even the most important is, like, a quarterback could be a quarterback, a receiver gonna be a receiver. Everybody has to do their job.
Their part. Yeah,
and
they have to do their
you don't
part.
have to. You can't do all the jobs.
Yeah,
you're gonna get overwhelmed. And like, I always bring it back to those analogies, because it's like, that's how it works. I believe, you know, athletes always succeed. People with proper mentorship always succeed. So you have to dig into it. So I'm glad you're able to reiterate that, because it really is about just doing it.
It's just doing it, man. And you know, to the 15-year-old self, it's just whatever you really see that you just want to do, just try it out.
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize you can always not have an interest in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you may like it, or you just, you know what? I tried it. I'm not going to, you know, I'll focus on something else. And that's okay. Like, you know, people say life is short, which all we know is life, but it's the longest span that we actually have. Right. So it's like, maximize whatever we can.
Dive deep.
Whatever we do, just dive deep into it.
Yeah, I've always used to, people would penalize me, except for my mother. She gave me the open opportunity to change my mind.
Yeah.
And I try to do that with my kids. It's okay to change your mind.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's okay. It's okay to change your mind. Nothing wrong with it. Man, this is awesome. I feel like we got some great insight. Where can people find you?
Yeah.
You know, how can they find you? And you know, is there anybody you want to shout out and leave with the audience?
Yeah, most definitely. You can follow me. Actually, you can take my number. My number is 213-925-6765. That number ain't changed.
Yep.
Yeah, that's been my same number.
Yep.
You can find me. Yeah, of course. Instagram, Dom X Scoggs. And then my entertainment company is Valor Vision ENT.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, in this episode, and like most episodes, it's sponsored by Fluent Solution.
Yes. Shout out to the
marketing company.
Yes.
We do all your lead generation, all your marketing and data collection. For example, like Dominique shouted out his number. You can have your own digital number at a Fluent Solution right now. If you go ahead and sign up for a 30-day free trial, people can text you, they can call you, and they don't have to have your personal line, and you can just hit them on the jack. Thank you for coming, man. This was an awesome episode, man. I appreciate the love, man. Let's do it. We got to do it again.
Yes.
And we'll see y'all soon.